All right, YouTube, this is Tucson back at you with some Echoes of Mana. I just wanted to give you guys just some little bit more in-depth tip knowledge on your gear building. I think this is probably a little bit more in-depth piece of things that people quite aren't realizing on the surface of how much it matters, like the memory gem that you're using versus the equipment that you're utilizing on your character. So let me try to break this down for you a little bit. Here I got my Rise up here for you, and I have some gear. It's not the best gear. I've seen people with better builds. That's fine. When you're getting gear, a lot of it is RNG anyway. And then you don't want to have to waste a bunch of resources leveling up one and then dismantling and leveling in that whole piece of things. So my strategy for gearing has been: here's my 6 pieces, and I'm going to level those, and then I'm going to do that for each of my top 3 units that I'm using primarily as the main people on the field. And then after that, I'll go back and single out pieces of gear that I want to upgrade and see what I have just from stash from farming that I can do that with. I think the longer you go to replacing, the more likely you'll have something that's more optimal, and so there'll be less of that switching. And frankly, with the content that's out right now, there's no need for me to be min-maxing my over 9,000 power Rise. But with that said, this tip will help you utilize that in that power gain from these. So here's what it is. This is the card that I'm using, or the memory gem I'm using on her, and I like it for that skill damage. There's better cards. The new wind card is better. Is better all around for Reese than this card. This one's going to be more generic because it's not tied to just wind. But I just want you to see. Look at where the stat concentration is: HP, strength, and con. Right? Okay. Now the thing about the stats on our memory gems here is they go to the base stats of the unit, which is what is decided for the multiplier on the percent increases on our armor. So when you look over here, this has that the increase of that HP percent, right? That's being taken. You remember from our memory gem how one of the main stats on that was HP. So this piece actually matches up really well with what I'm already gaining from my memory gem, providing even more stats than what another memory gem might provide for me with these 2 pieces combined together. We can see the same thing here with the strength and the constitution. Those two things were also the main stats on that memory gem. So here I am also benefiting from having those tied in. Now, on this piece here, Spirit was not one of the main stats, and so this might be a piece that I might look at in the future and be like, okay, well, it doesn't line up very well with my memory gem. Is there maybe another one that I can utilize that has a constitution, strength, or HP percentiles to work with me there? I know specifically on this piece, it might be more difficult to replace based off the amount of luck. I'm trying to increase the luck of my character. I want to get it around to at least 400 plus in that way. So, you have to take those things into consideration as well. But I do like the idea of being able to get as much stat bonus as I can because of how my interworking memory gems are as well. So let's just take a quick look on some of these. This one here is another example. HP con and those percentages, are working with me for my memory gem here. Here again, I got a bunch of strength on this. This is actually a really nice piece, I think. 17.7% strength, great. And then another 9% con off of that. This works really well, once again, with that memory gem. Here we go again. Another huge con piece, along with the HP percentile. And then a good amount of luck on this one here too. So that's basically the kind of what I want to get across here is look at what the memory gem that you've decided is the best one that you have for your character. And part of the deciding factor in that might be what is your percentage bonuses on your armor and what obviously what's best for your particular unit. So we already know that Rise is definitely a strength character, and that constitution is going to go a long way of getting her to be able to be tanky as well as HP. So you get the memory card that the memory gem, rather. I keep calling them cards. It's just habit from other games. And you just want to make sure that those are the three main stats and throw that on there. And that's one of the things that, I see a lot of other people talk about. Well, maybe use this card here. And I'm like, okay, in this card, yes, it's very good for when you're using your ultimate. And mine's actually at level 45, so it's actually a little bit higher than my other one. And so you can actually see I get a little bit more strength and more HP from this. But I think that skill damage percent also is a huge factor, and my constitution being higher is a factor too. That overall, I think this this card isn't quite as tanky or as good as the other card is for me. So just take that into account as you're looking at things. We can take a look at some of the other cards here. Just once again, you're looking at stat distribution along with the passive. And some of these have just differing stat distribution. So that's all my tip is for today. As you're looking at your gearing, look to see what the stat is on the memory gem, because that's going to go to those base stats when you're doing your gearing and your percentiles stats on there. Thank you, everybody, and please like and subscribe. And that's been my 2 cents.